We have not talked about your 3 wide receivers at all. So let's talk about these guys. Can we move DK Metcalf ahead of A.J. Brown? Anybody ready to do that after the Julio Jones trade?
I did.
I did not.
I did not. I actually kind of moved A.J. Brown up a little bit.
Interesting.
I don't think there's going to be a big change in how many targets he gets with Julio Jones. I think they're not taking targets away from A.J. Brown. They're taking targets away from Des Fitzpatrick, is that his name? And Racey McMath and Josh Reynolds. And like, I think they're going to be fine. I still have A.J. Brown at 135 targets. And I think the efficiency is going to be a little better. I'm regressing his efficiency less than I was before the Julio Jones trade.
Okay, Jamie, you moved Metcalf ahead.
Yeah, just slightly. I mean, it's I'll probably change it 100 times between now and then. It's like that group of receivers. I had A.J. Brown 3rd before the trade, so I dropped him behind Metcalf, who I think was 8. So they're all in the same, relative range. I just think that, Julio's going to take enough targets because Julio's a little bit better than Corey Davis and Jonnu Smith combined. Certainly better than Des Fitzpatrick and Josh Reynolds and the group that they have there now. So he's going to command more attention, and that's going to take away a little bit of what A.J. Brown was expected to do. I thought A.J. Brown could potentially, even on this passing attack, challenge for the league lead in targets. He just was going to get so much attention. So that's going to come down a little bit. He's going to be efficient. He's going to be awesome. This isn't stay away from A.J. Brown by any stretch. It's just I think DK Metcalf and what the Seahawks told us this offseason was we're going to let Russ play the way Russ wants to play a little bit. And I think that's going to help Metcalf going into year 3 as well.
Which side would you rather have? Combination of sophomore and junior wide receivers. Justin Jefferson and Deontay Johnson, or CeeDee Lamb and Terry McLaurin?
Jefferson and Deontay. I actually have Deontay ahead of CeeDee Lamb.
Oh.
I also have Deontay ahead of CeeDee Lamb.
Oh.
I'll take the other side.
Actually, only in full PPR. In non-PPR, I have Lamb ahead. But
okay. So it's 2 votes for the Jefferson Johnson side.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie, you have McLaurin 5th, right?
That's a non-PPR. I think I have 7th in PPR.
Yeah, he's 11th for me, so there's a little gap there, yeah.
Which side would you rather have? Deontay Johnson. I did another one with Deontay Johnson. That's weak. Deontay Johnson and Jerry Jeudy, or Marquise Brown and Chase Claypool?
The Jeudy side.
Oh, yeah, Deontay and Jeudy for sure.
That's an easy one. I can do better than that.
Yeah, I have Jeudy ahead of Marquise Brown and Claypool.
Same.
Okay, who's a better sleeper? Henry Ruggs or Paris Campbell?
Ruggs.
I would rather have Ruggs on my team. I've got Campbell projected higher, but they're both so far down that I'll take the upside of Ruggs.
If Ruggs hits, he has star potential. I don't know if Paris Campbell has star potential.
Okay, how about Henry Ruggs or Laviska Shenault?
Shenault.
Man, I wish the Jaguars had done different things this offseason for Laviska Shenault's sake. I could see him getting lost there, and it's very frustrating. But I would still go with Shenault.
He might be the number 1 wide receiver. Urban Meyer hates DJ Chark.
Yeah, but he might be the number 4 option in the passing game.
He could be. Anything could happen in Jacksonville this season. I would not be particularly surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, who's a better sleeper? Denzel Mims or Nicole Hardman?
I think I would go Mims at this point. Hardman's had enough opportunities to do something, and he just really hasn't.
I'm going to go with Hardman one more time. But
I'm
Chris is right.
Too.
Yeah,
that's a quarterback thing.
Yeah.
If Tyreek Hill gets hurt, Nicole Hardman's a monster among monsters.
What if everybody stays healthy? Then who would you
I'll still take my chances with Hardman.
Yeah,
I mean, Mims could be the number 1 receiver for the Jets, but it's
which would probably make him the 4th receiver on the team.
Yeah, the last 3 words of that sentence are pretty important. But yeah, maybe Zach Wilson's really good.
I'm still so intrigued by Mims, though. Yeah, we just never really got to see what he could do.
It was such a weird year because he had that hamstring injury that he really couldn't practice. I think it was like early in training camp. He didn't play for like the first 4 or 5 games. And then he had a family issue where he had to leave the team. So there was just a lot working against him. I thought he was pretty good when he played.
He does have the escaping from Adam Gase thing going for him, which gets him closer to Hardman.
Like Elijah Moore never played with Adam Gase, so we don't know how good he's going to be.
You guys like Escape from LA or Escape from New York better?
Never seen either of them.
I don't know if I've ever seen fully Escape from New York, but Escape from LA is a fun movie.
Very fun.
Don't think I've
Snake
seen
Plissken, right? That's the name.
Snake Plissken, I believe. Yeah. It's good stuff. But Tango and Cash, definitely better than both. Waiting to hear, waiting for the angry email on that one. So any other sleepers you guys?
Tango and Cash is definitely better than both.
Is it? Okay, good. I love
Tango
Tango and Cash. I really want to see Tango and Cash. I haven't seen that movie in so
Definitely
long.
never seen Tango and Cash. I thought you were talking about Turner and Hooch.
Never seen Tango and Cash?
Never seen Tango and Cash.
Oh my gosh, you're
For a
deprived.
while, that movie was always on TV when I was a kid. Always, and I never should have watched it. It's very violent. But
we haven't talked about Michael Pittman yet, right?
No, we haven't. Do you consider him a sleeper?
Well, he deserves to be in the conversation somewhere.
Well, I didn't know if he was too highly rated to be a sleeper. I didn't know.
I don't think so.
Oh, he's going right after LaVisca Chenault, so I suppose.
Yeah, he was. The weird thing about him was he was playing a lot. Even early on in his rookie season, coming back from that injury, and so, what's the opportunity to grow? What does that look like? I guess, it's not going to come from more playing time. He's just going to have to play better, and I definitely have bigger questions about their QB situation now than I did last season.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know that. I had quite a few questions about Phillip Rivers.
I thought he was going to be fine. He was fine. I have very little confidence in what Carson Wentz is at this point. My prior is that he's not good.
Who's the number one receiver for the Colts?
Could be Pittman. I think you got to treat it as Hilton going in, but it could be Pittman.
Yeah, and I think Pittman's being drafted first.
Yeah,
I think it's probably Ty, but
he is being drafted first.
Oh, wow, it's not that close.
No, it's not that close. And in our drafts, it is.
It's like 45 spots in NFC.
Chris and I took them back to back. Okay, Gabriel Davis stepping up. Any thoughts for him?
Gabriel Davis. I love drafting him with one of my last picks if I can get him. The fact that John Brown's not there anymore, it's entirely possible Gabriel Davis is the number 2 option. I still have Cole Beasley as the number 2 guy. I pretty much expect nothing from Emmanuel Sanders, but Davis could be the kind of guy who, if he gets 80 targets, ends up being a starting caliber fantasy option, albeit a frustratingly inconsistent one.
I really only want to draft him in best ball.
Yeah, that's fair.
Jamie, I'm going to just say some names. Some are year 2, some are year 3. Tampa Bay, Tyler Johnson. Jacksonville's Colin Johnson. Quintez Cephas of Detroit. Isaiah Coulter of Houston. Donovan Peoples-Jones in Cleveland. Darius Slayton. Travis Fulgham. Chargers with Jalen Guyton and Tyron Johnson. Did I say anyone? I know we're not going to draft them, but anyone that you could see emerging, or maybe even just having dynasty value?
Cephas for sure, just knowing what that receiving core looks like. And, look, Tyrell Williams and Brashad Perryman, you kind of know what they are at this point. If they stay healthy, maybe they have a chance to produce. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the rookie, that's who he's competing with. So he could easily be in the mix for the number 1 receiver in Detroit. Not that you're going to draft that, but, somebody to put in the back of your mind in deeper leagues. And then Travis Fulgham, look, we had that stretch of games last year for Philadelphia where he was amazing. Jalen Reagor and Devontae Smith should be the top 2 guys, but he could be third. They're talking about Greg Ward as their third receiver, and that's a former quarterback. So Fulgham physically, could be their best option as a red zone threat. Not taking into account J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and what he can maybe do ever, but those would be the 2 that I'd keep an eye on. I think it's going to be, I like Tyler Johnson and Colin Johnson. Those are 2 guys that I had my eyes on, as some free agent dynasty pickups, just knowing that the receiving cores were changing a little bit this offseason, and they changed for the worse for those guys. For Tyler Johnson, the fact that, Antonio Brown is back and Chris Godwin stayed. And then Colin Johnson bringing in Marvin Jones, that didn't help his outlook at all.
Yeah.
Heath, Dynasty man.
Jalen
Reagor and N'Keal Harry.
Jalen Reagor and Darnell Mooney are both very, very interesting guys that I would like to try to buy low on. I think it's pretty clear Mooney will be the number 2 wide receiver for the Bears this year. So there's, especially if Fields is able to take over that job early in the year, there's some significant upside for him. I'm more excited about him than I am Reagor, but once Zach Ertz is officially not a Philadelphia Eagle, there's going to be some room for Jalen Reagor. They say he's playing the slot a little bit more. Love both of those guys. I don't have hardly any hope at all for N'Keal Harry. There was a report that came out. I don't remember who it was. I'm sorry, but they were talking about the top 3 wide receivers and then somebody pushing N'Keal Harry for number 4. And so he's just apparently not very good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. I agree with Heath on Reagor. I may like him a little more than Mooney. He was one of those guys who was in that 11-yard ADOT plus 5 yards after catch on average.
Group, you need to raise your sample size to qualify.
Well, it was 50 targets. He wasn't good last year, but he had the shoulder injury right before the start of the season where he separated his shoulder, played through it early on, tore the ligament in his thumb. I mean, he might have had a leg injury at some point too. It was just a really tough year for him, and it, kind of all happened right at the beginning, which makes it really hard to get going. And then the quarterback situation was awful in Philadelphia until Jalen Hurts took over. So I do think there's a chance he's the number 1 wide receiver there. I think there's a chance he's a viable fantasy option. So I'm not giving up on Jalen Reagor. He's someone I like in the late rounds.
How much of a chance do you think that he's the number 1 wide receiver? I mean, he's probably, it's going to be, okay, Folgham maybe, but Devontae Smith is the favorite.
Yeah, I think he's the number 2. Fulgham kind of fell out of favor after Reagor's the number 2. But Smith's better, but Reagor was the number 21 pick in 2020 in a pretty deep wide
I bet the Eagles would like to do that one again.
Oh, sure. I'm sure they would rather. Did Justin Jefferson go right ahead of them?
Yeah, no, after.
It went Reagor,
like to have him.
Jefferson, Ayuk, Higgins, and then Pittman, Chenault, Hamler, and then Claypool.
Not great. Not great. He's better. I think he's better than Hamler.
Good.
But he has pedigree. He was a really productive receiver in college at a very young age. There's still a lot of things working in Reagor's favor. So I could see, a 900-yard, 7 touchdown season for him.
Okay.